Okay, to change the camshaft sensor on a Jetta. With a 2-liter engine. A lot of Volkswagen engines have this sensor over at this end, kind of the back number 4, to access the camshaft sensor, but on the 2-liter Jettas from 2011 to 2017, this is the wire connector for it. The actual sensor is under this cover behind the camshaft pulley. So you have to remove the pulley to actually get to the camshaft position sensor. So it's a difficult job and not super easy, and is not to be taken lightly, because once you take that pulley off, you're messing with the timing and the timing belt, and you have to get it exactly back on right or your engine won't run. So just be aware that it's not just a bolt-in sensor like on some of the models where it's a quick on and off and swap out a sensor. Okay, this is a 2014 Volkswagen Jetta. This is the cam belt cover, and you just unsnap these, kind of like an air filter. You can unclick these. There's another one over here, and you have to kind of fight and get this out of there. Just set it aside, and now you can see your camshaft belt, which you can see whether it needs replacing or not. This one's not in bad shape, but this is your camshaft sensor, and to get to it, there's a connector right here, and it goes down, and there's wires that go behind this little plate right here, and you can see that bolt right there, which you can't get to because this belt's in the way, but there's another attachment behind this pulley, so you have to take this pulley off. So you rotate the engine around till you find that little tiny mark right there. Turn the engine over till that's at the top of the engine, because there's a woodruff key on this, the camshaft. And if it's upside down, the woodruff key can fall down in there and be lost forever. Keep this bungee strap to keep tension on the belt, so all the down at the crankshaft, the belt doesn't move, because we're not replacing the camshaft belt. That's a lot longer. We're just trying to get to the camshaft sensor. And so we zip tied the belt in place. You can see 1, 2, 3 zip ties. And then I really marked the belt and highlighted on the gear here, the mark that we're lining up on. And had to take this bolt out, which is an 18mm bolt that goes in the end of the camshaft. And to do that, we took a screwdriver, and you have to protect this little tin cover. That's what the cam sensor is detecting. You can see there's a little slot right there, and there's a little slot right there. So don't bang up this tin piece right there. But if you get the screwdriver just right, see if I can show it, keeping it away from that little tin plate, right in there, and jam it in there, and either 2 people or 1 person, somebody holds the screwdriver. And I did a breaker bar on the number 18 here, millimeter. And so next thing is bungee strap, and to carefully pull this, we're just going to move it out so we can get to the little Allen wrench, 5mm Allen wrench that's at the other end of this cam sensor. They don't make it easy to get to. So now we're going to try to wiggle this off and see if we can get it. So let's see if it'll wiggle. I can feel it getting looser. The other thing we did is we loosened this tensioner bolt right there for the camshaft belt. so that we get a little bit of flex in the belt. So that hopefully we have enough just to slide it off the end of the camshaft here. Now, if you can see it's wobbling. And of course you want to be careful. I don't know if you can see that tin cover right there. No, it's hard to see. But you want to be careful that you're not touching that tin camshaft sensor pickup plate. I guess it may. It's getting more and more off. And I'll see if you can see in here, that's the Woodruff key. Let's keep going. There's the Woodruff key right there. See that right there? And so this is just gonna keep tension on the belt so we don't lose tension. And I gotta go get a 5mm.
Yep.
So we're gonna use the 5mm Allen wrench and see if we can get to it. Can you see it? It's right there. You can see that. There it is, right there. So that's what I'm going after. That's not bad. Yeah, after I got it loose, it's coming out. Okay, now there's a second bolt in here. Let me get a pointer. Can you get that right there? There's another bolt right there. That's a number 13. Right there. Yeah, there's some light in there. And you're not gonna be able to see it when I get my big fat hand in there on the ratchet. But that's holding a guard clamp and the actual sensor. So we gotta get that bolt out of there. It's kind of recessed in there so I can't get my fingers on it. And this is where it would be nice to have a little 90-degree impact. And you have to hold the socket with your finger so it doesn't just keep turning back and forth. There we go. Just a tiny little bolt. Up here with the other one. So now, all of this should come, pry this back a little bit and get that behind it. And there's your camshaft sensor. So that bolt was here and the 5mm Allen head was over here. And this is the sensor right here. And it goes right, it detects these little parts on this little tin cover on the cam wheel here, the cam gear. So that's why you gotta be super careful. You don't want these bending up because it has to fit right between that little slot right there. So it goes whoosh, whoosh. And that's how it detects where the camshaft is and when to fire the spark plugs. So we'll just disconnect this. Oh, there we go. So then you take this to the store and make sure you get the exact same one. This one says made in Germany, Bosch, right there. Can you read them? Mm-hmm. So this is the camshaft sensor for a 2-liter 2014 Volkswagen Jetta, which should be the same from 2011 to 2017.
something like that.
Something like that.
M6K, I think, is the model.
Okay, got back from the store and we took our part with us so that we can compare them. And can you see that? Bosch part number 031, and if you look on here, the middle number here is blah 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 031. So, and when we took it out of the box at the store. Actually, the clerk did, which was nice, and compared them. You know, bolt holes, connectors, little 3-prong connector, and then the sensor itself where it slides through there and detects it. You can see on the old one, can you see the dirt right there? Yeah, that may be affecting the quality of the sensor, and we could probably have cleaned this up with some electrical cleaner, and so that, you know, I saw in another person doing this was gunked up from oil dripping from this oil seal right there. If it's leaking, dirt and grime and everything else was covering all over the sensor, so obviously it wasn't working very well. But he was going to have to replace the oil seal. You can see on this car, you know, the oil seal is good. You know, it's not leaking at all, so we're in good shape there. We're going to put this back on and get the reverse the removal procedure there. So slide this way, move it behind this little tin plate. See, on the back side of this, there's a little pin right here that this little indentation is what I'm trying to get in there. And get it lined up with the bolt holes and that indentation into the head. There it goes. There it goes. Just hold it. Get this little 5mm. Let's see if we get it started. Ah, going in. That's all it needed, was to drop the other one. Now, I'm gonna get this one in there. Before we forget, tighten up this one back here, the 5mm. That's pretty tight. So now we got to get the belt back on, which it slid from around this idler pulley, so you gotta get it back in place there, and balance out, mark right there is where that is. So we're going to, I marked it on here where the groove is on this cam pulley and where the woodruff key is, so that we could sort of make sure that they're going on in the right place. And we haven't turned the engine or done anything like that, so you see that woodruff key pop out? That's what we're trying not to do. I don't know if the engine turned, because it's not looking like it's going to line up. So that woodruff key is a big pain to get back in there, lined up, especially with this belt on. You can't just spin the gear and the pulley and get it lined on the woodruff key. You know, we thought about cutting the straps and then putting the belt on afterwards, but I finally, probably 30 minutes at least,
Yeah.
of fighting with it and dropping the woodruff key down into the belt channel, which goes into the black abyss down there. And I had to retrieve it with my magnetic rod here, the same one I've retrieved the bolt I dropped. Woodruff key is metallic, so it was able to retrieve it. And I think 2 or 3 times, I think 2 times I dropped it. So we finally got it to slide on, and now we do the number 18 bolt in the end here. So we got the cam position sensor in there behind this, 5mm, 13mm bolt, and the connector right here, and putting this 18 back on should be this breaker bar. Impact wrench. Let's see if we can get it to not turn. Looks pretty good. Torque to spec. So now we can cut our ties off. Just gonna try to cut this. Yeah. So trying to tighten up this tensioner. And like a slotted bolt. Wiggle it around a little, make sure it's tight. I had to do it with a wrench because it's so tight in here. Torqued. That's tighter. So we got that on. I think we're ready to test it out. Okay, so we got it in there. I mean, the connector on. Test fire. Yep. All right, let's try it and see what it does. Woo! Sounds good. Now I gotta put the cover back on and tighten it up. It's running smooth. Okay. Test driving. Running down the road. No check engine lights. Running strong. No skips, misfires, or anything. Final check with the scanner, reading codes, so no faults detected. Okay, let's start it up and see what the finished product does. Yeah, it kind of revs a little high when it first starts, and it slows down and goes down to about 800. Alright, here, slow it down now. Well, it's idling nicely. You can see the connector for the camshaft position sensor right here, and the cover. You can't see it because it's behind the cover and behind the camshaft pulley. But idling nicely, and took it for a test run, and it ran really good. Alright, everybody. Like and subscribe, and take care.